Such a Thai place down here too.
Right on. We're live. This is Gym Crashers. We're back. It's Thursday, July the 14th. I thought it was the 15th, and I'm like, oh crap, I hope she didn't mean Friday, but I got Carla Esparza live with us. Welcome. So proud to see you here with us.
Thank you, thank you.
An amazing girl, and you're a jet setter, so I don't know how I got you in the building. So much has happened. I mean, from the last UFC fight that you won against, someone help me pronounce her name.
Yan Xiaonan.
There we go. Yeah, Xiaonan, exactly. I don't want to say the wrong thing or go, oh man, here we go. Can't she just have a nickname like Karate Hottie did or something like that? Someone else that she's beat. It happens. But on a 5-win streak.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That is an amazing thing at this point in your career to be on a 5-win streak, you know?
Yeah, because for sure the competition doesn't get any easier. Like the further you get in, and when you're in the top 10, everything's super hard for sure.
And you mentioned earlier, you know, probably talking to professionals and stuff, that fighting at your level is a very dangerous thing. I think we were just chit-chatting in the room, and it becomes more dangerous when someone trains all day and rests specifically and eats specifically in order to hurt someone.
Yeah, definitely. You know, fighting's a full-time job, or it can be, and when someone's completely dedicated to the job, they can be pretty dangerous.
And you've been in this sport for quite some time. I mean, for those of us that saw the very first of the women's Ultimate Fighter, the show, and to see 16 tough young ladies and you come out on top, I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think back to that. It was 7 years ago.
Jeez,
so, you know, and
rub
that was
it in. I didn't have to put shoe polish in my hair then. Seriously.
Yeah, no, really crazy to kind of be at the start of this UFC division, and really cool to be a part of that history.
So prior to that, was it Invicta?
Yes, Invicta before that, and before that Bellator, and before that.
Oh, it was the first Bellator Women's Challenge. That was the first of that. And then you had the first strawweight champion, I think, for
Invicta, first strawweight champion for Invicta in UFC. Yeah.
It's already making history. That's really, really cool. This is big stuff.
But still going, though. Still got history to make, for sure.
Yeah, and I love that. And I don't see you slowing down by any means. And just in passing and looking at Instagram and seeing the momentum that you have. It's kind of an incredible year. 2021, by any measurement, is off the Richter scale.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this year is... I mean, I could have called it done already. It would have been like one of the best years of my life. It's been a really awesome year for sure.
Just incredible. And even in just the past few weeks, I'm kind of blown away, actually, because of, Africa, Botswana, safari.
Yeah, no, Africa, trip of a lifetime. Always wanted to go on safari. Got to go to Botswana, Zimbabwe. Then came home for a little bit. Oh, I was in Vegas for fight week before that.
Yes.
Came home for a day, went to Africa, came home for less than 2 weeks, went to Belize, came home for about a day and a half. Just came back from Paris 2 days ago. Went to Disneyland yesterday.
Oh my God.
Life's pretty cool. It's busy, but it's pretty awesome.
Was it your first time in Paris?
Not my first time in Paris,
okay.
no, but I think it was definitely a lot different experience now going as someone who's older, more experienced, more traveled, knows how to how to organize, figure where things are, figure out where the good food is. So
you guys lived it up, and you're with Flo, and she speaks French.
Oh my gosh, it is so much better to have somebody that speaks the language when you're in a country, because it's not like Spanish or something where you can, actually on paper when I look at French, I'm like, okay, well I kind of know what that means, but then when the pronunciation, they're like, schwa, fwa, sha, 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 and you're just like,
I'm with you on that. I've heard it.
Yeah.
But I loved seeing you. I mean, you guys are at Eiffel Tower, at Arc de Triomphe, at the Sacré-Cœur Church.
Yeah, I know, super, super beautiful and old like architecture.
Right.
So it's really unique, really awesome. But one of the things that I thought was the coolest, which I didn't even like really know about until recently, was the catacombs.
I saw you on your last day.
Oh my gosh.
And you're wearing some kind of outfit that I've never seen you in. So I'm like, oh my God, look at Carla's like living in like catacomb life. It looked like you belong there. And there's skulls and bones. And
It's so funny. I had just gotten that dress like the day before or something, and it was like total Wednesday Adam vibes in the dress.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
you know.
You said it. But the vibe of being amongst hundreds and hundreds of skulls and bones, and it's basically just they were chucked there and they had to organize those.
Yeah, it's creepy. Like the catacombs, like each section, like you read it, and they have a like kind of like a little like description area in where different languages, and it says that the bodies are kind of separated by like there was a famine, in this time, so they were all like the same age in each pile, and they just threw them into mass graves, and then eventually they organized them into this place. But I don't even know who got that would have been a creepy job to have this job and like stack the bones. And they made like art with it too. Some were like letters, the heads, and it was crazy. And actually Flo wanted, like, she was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool to go. Like we could go like one of the first days we get here. And I was like, that's kind of creepy vibes. Like, I don't know if I'd want to do that like right before a fight. Take a ghost home.
She's a gamer, and putting you with her, just had the greatest hope that everything would turn out the way it did. It was just awesome for her to fight in France, being French Polynesian.
Yeah, exactly. She had a huge crowd behind her. Like the crowd was like going nuts for her when they said her name. Everyone was just like, ah! Yeah. It was really cool to see like all the support she had out there. She was definitely seemed like she was a big star out there. They had her go up for like the press conference and everything after weigh-ins, and unfortunately, like they didn't televise it out here. So I know not as many people saw it, but she had an awesome performance. Like, struck with another like pioneer in the sport, but who's also like a world champ striker from New Caledonia, I think.
New Caledonia.
Caledonia, yeah.
South Pacific as well.
Yeah, so
very close to where Flo's from.
Exactly. So it's kind of like you have this huge like clash of the islands type of deal. It was like a very historic fight in my opinion, because she's also the first pro MMA fighter from her country.
It's awesome.
So it was really cool.
That's great for young ladies to see this. We're kind of in that time where there's a movement kind of happening. I think you guys kind of started it, but I mean, there was not even a UFC weight class. Now, they're expanding and things are happening. And now it's this thing that, people they're seeing what can be done and taking it to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, it was really kind of cool to see that, what they did and what they accomplished out there, because in Belize, they had it was kind of like how MMA was here like 10, 15 years ago, like very new, people trying to figure it out, people watching YouTube videos to learn jiu-jitsu. And it's like, it was very cool to see how much passion and dedication they had to learning the sport, but like how little like, opportunities or experience or like things around to kind of help them along they're just figuring it out and making it happen because they love it,
Yeah, I can't imagine. We're very fortunate. We're here, California. You're from Southern California. This is kind of the mecca of the fight world. So we kind of had places to pick and choose on. You had the Gracie's right in your neighborhood, practically.
Yeah.
The first Gracie's.
First gym, first
in that
jiu-jitsu
garage,
gym.
Right? That was the real deal. But when you're coming from some outer islands in the South Pacific, they're fighters naturally, as we know because of my producer here. But to develop the level of fighting, standing and on the ground that it takes to fight at the UFC level, that's a whole other thing. But yes, like you said, they kind of go at it, they develop, but then even like our good friend from Guam, Frank, he's just an awesome dude. So, he went from there and he comes out here with Jason House and those guys, just an awesome dude just to see him fight. But now I'm getting sidetracked. Got to stay on course here. I love to talk about island people and what they have to do to get the skills they need to. And a lot of them end up here. A lot of you guys at Team Oyama, man, there's nothing but talent. And
it's crazy.
You guys have had just a phenomenal couple years now.
Yeah, we definitely have an awesome squad, and I feel like we've had a lot of people come in and out. I think that's kind of the nature of the sport.
Yeah.
And especially, like you said, we kind of have like this kind of cool melting pot of these people from all these countries that come from places that don't necessarily like have opportunities, so they're coming out here and they feel welcome at our gym. We have people from like Chile,
Cheeto, right?
Ecuador.
Cheeto,
like you said,
you're Ecuadorian.
Frank. Yeah, I'm Ecuadorian too.
Cheeto's like
like from
he's
there.
Michael Jackson of Ecuador.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
He is.
Who else? We have El Salvadorians. We have a Japanese guy. We have like some Fernando who just got into the UFC. He's from Chihuahua, Mexico.
In the UFC. That's amazing. Right?
Long time coming, in my opinion. He's a really talented fighter.
Yeah. and a great dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, honestly, and Flo from Tahiti, you know, we have all these people that like they're the only ones from their country or one of the few, and they're just making their dream happen.
That's kind of an incredible thing that so many have gathered and be at the top of, you know, their country, not just cities or states. You know what I mean? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's like not hometown hero, it's like home country hero.
For
like
real.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's a good vibe. How has that helped you in your game? Is it a different look from all these people that you train with? They all bring something special?
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing with people from other countries who don't necessarily come from a place with as many opportunities, especially in the sport, is that they're so appreciative and they're so hungry. And it's very like inspiring. It makes you like want to appreciate what you have more too, and make you want to work harder for it, because it's so easy to just kind of like get into a funk, like, oh yeah, everything's just handed to me, it's easy, I can go to this class or this gym or that gym. But it's like, no dude, we're lucky to be here, and you know, like show up every day, like you're so, like people coming from other countries, they're like, dude, you get this whole class, you have all these people and these great coaches, is like they're so stoked like to even be there. It's like, how can you not appreciate it?
That's a great vibe. Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's a whole different kind of people that operate Team Oyama, and I really like that, from Ron Skolsdang down to everybody that even just doing jiu-jitsu, just good people. And the level of fighter that's being produced, it's obvious. It's in the UFC.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're getting people signed like right and left, you know. It's like, especially during the pandemic, you know, like we had so many people that were just staying ready, and just like as soon as the opportunity came, it's like, boom, we're in the UFC, we're in the UFC, we're in the UFC. So we got like a lot of people signed. It's really cool.
I even think during or pre-pandemic, it would be like multiple fighters in one night just to catch at different promotions. You know what I mean? It's hard to keep up. You see Colin one place, Ron in another place, you somewhere else.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing something. And now it's coming back to that, thank God. And then I see, you got to go to Fight Island during the pandemic. I mean, the rest of us are stuck, and you're on a plane to Fight Island.
Yeah, like I hit the, Trifecta's 3. What's 4? Like
quadrifecta? What is it?
Quadrifecta.
I don't know. Quadfecta. I don't know.
I feel like I hit the quadrifecta. Like they had the first openings of fights were in Florida, and I was on the first fight card back. Then from that, Fight Island, I was on the first like round of people that went. Went to that, and then
you were on a plane when nobody else on the globe could get on a plane. You're probably with a mask on.
Yeah, well,
90% empty.
Yeah, no, we actually had the UFC flew us out on a private plane.
Amazing.
So they even like shut off an area of the airport for us to just walk, so we wouldn't have to be exposed to anybody. After we had quarantined in our hotel already for 36 hours and been tested, I'm like, which way should I run? Like, I'm going to go for a run. He's like, either way is the same because you got to stay in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, okay.
Great.
But yeah, no, we were definitely. They kept us like very like secluded, but yeah, I know it was cool. Oh, I guess it is just 3 then. Trifecta, and then I fought in Vegas at the Contender Series place. What is it called?
Where they fight Contender Series, Robert? You know.
Apex, yeah. I never thought I would fight there because, you know, I fought at the Ultimate Fighter place when I was on Tough, but you know, I'm so far in my career, I'm never going to be a Contender Series person.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll never fight here. And then it's like, oh, boom. Like the UFC is,
That's cool, though.
Yeah, it's so cool. I got to fight at like all 3 places. So
it's amazing.
It was awesome.
It's very amazing. And especially in a time when people in general, not just fighters, are in a place where they're just not certain about their futures. People in their jobs, they're at home, they're getting their checks, not sure if they're going to go back, and then here comes UFC putting on fights across the globe on the other end of the world on a little island. It was just kind of cool, and I knew you were going to be a part of that. It's inspiring for a lot of people to see that, and then I think there's a level of risk, but I didn't see that even fazed you. You just got on the plane and did your job.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that was always kind of my mentality. Like, you know, there is potentially risk, but that's a risk that I'm choosing to take. And, you know, I mean, that's the same risk I take when I step in the cage every time. I mean, you could get knocked out. You could get hurt pretty bad. I mean, look what just happened to Connor this past weekend, you know?
Ow.
It's like,
I try not to look at that too much.
Yeah.
It's like, everywhere.
You know, we sign up in this game to potentially, like, risk our health a little bit, but we do it because we love it. So it is what it is.
That's really cool and well said, and I really like that. And not to go into private life too much, but your partner in crime has made the oath to care for people and, you know, not bring any harm, and yet his other half fights and brings nothing but harm and bodily injury to people. I find that to be an incredible juxtaposition of it just, and I think that's what the world is made of, is positive and negative and good and bad, and that's what makes people strong. So I think it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, what Don is talking about is my
I don't
fiance.
want to say too much.
He's my fiance is a doctor, so it's funny that like I'm like busting people up, and then he's over there like fixing them.
Yes.
It's actually really convenient to have that too, because I'm like, oh, if I get hurt, or if I get split open, he's like, oh, I'll sew it up, no problem. I'll stitch you up. I'm like, sweet.
What a great dynamic to have. When I look at that, I'm like, dude, that's kind of really cool. It's a unique thing. And
for sure.
Shout out to Matt. Thank you, brother. We love you. Just a cool guy. And Hannah and Becky for making things happen, because they helped me make things happen for you on the front of the boat. So awesome.
A part of this huge, awesome engagement, proposal surprise for me. It was the coolest thing ever. Yeah, I don't want to take too much time on that.
I wasn't sure how personal we'd go, but Carla was proposed to on the bow of the catatonic. And for those of you who don't know, catatonic means speechless, without words. And yet she's on the bow of the boat being proposed to by Matt. But we were just coming out to say congratulations for her win on her most recent fight.
Yeah.
As soon as we could catch her. However, it turned into the wonderful and most beautiful night, because we then went over to the Marriott where she didn't suspect a thing. I don't know how, because I'm sure I blew it a couple times. We go, yeah, I'll meet you over there. I wasn't supposed to say anything. And yet your friends, family, loved ones, people that flew in from across the country, probably from who knows where.
My head was in the clouds. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I was just like, whoa.
Hey, Coach Colin was there.
Yeah.
Alex.
So Sean and Don are like, this huge surprise, just messaged me like, oh, let's you just won your fight. Let's go out on a boat ride, celebrate a little bit, bring your friends, a couple friends. I was like, oh, sure, that sounds like a great time. Like, let's all go hang out. And then, little did I know that they were like scheming all this whole plan, surprise thing.
It's all on
Instagram.
Yeah. In case you're wondering.
Cool. I'm so grateful.
Oh,
we are a huge part of making this happen.
Thank you so
cool.
much. It's an honor to be a part of it and be a part of what little bit of this long journey that you've had in the fight game. So it's just really cool. And yeah, we would do it all over in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I didn't even know until right now that actually this gym right here, or this little area, was where I tried out to get my pro card to turn pro 12 years ago. So, and I didn't realize that you were here.
I was here
watching me.
Here.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Robert might have jumped in the cage.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Separated parts, right? Some parts are grappling, some parts are
Yeah.
And then they had that one white girl that I was like, and once you guys hit them out, that girl's in trouble.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was pretty much 12 years ago that I was here. Well, it was right across, but
it was our first year here, or across the way, with John Della, and it was something we did, I think, quarterly, pro evals, because we had a fight promotion called Long Beach Fight Night.
I fought in it. That was my second and last fight in California, because I haven't been able to fight here. It was hard. Nobody would fight me in California.
Wow.
I think I scared everybody off at that point. And since then, it's been almost 11 years that I haven't fought in California. So
wild.
But it was cool to have this piece of history here and know that you were there.
It's so many people in common. I mean, you're messaging people when you came in that came from here, and nothing but respect for them, and the people that have touched all of us along the journey, you know what I mean? Our own fight journey. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
And we're all entwined. In case you're wondering, you meet people on the way up, you still meet them on the way down. So be good to people is what I say, because
for sure.
It's a close-knit family.
Always be good to people, never burn your bridges, just be cool, respectful to everyone, and it's all going to work out. It's going to come around.
Yeah, because MMA and jiu-jitsu are kind of a tiny, close-knit game,
For sure.
We meet all those same folks. It's funny how we all cross paths. And
Definitely.
getting involved with Sean with our life, another whole thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's so crazy. Small world.
Yeah. And it's amazing. He's here tonight, so thank you, brother, for supporting the show. We love having our life in the house.
Our life.
That's right.
Cookie Monster flavor out now.
It is, yes. She does have her own flavor.
Or very soon coming out.
Is it coming? Okay.
Keep your eye out.
Very cool. And Nuestra Vida. Is it okay to say that? I just said it, so it's out. It means our life in Spanish. Sean's in Mexico. He's got a whole other thing going on.
You just came back from Mexico, right?
Yeah, just came back from Mexico City. Going back again to Guadalajara at the end of the month.
Oh, nice.
Can't keep up with that dude. So tell me about Belize. So you went down with MMA Events Inc.?
Yes.
Good dudes.
Yeah, so it's really cool what they're trying to do out there. Like, it's just like, all the different places and countries that don't really have a lot of opportunity. They're out there. They flew a cage out there to throw amateur fights.
Mm-hmm.
And they're flying people out to bring competition out there. They're helping out with the gyms. Yeah, and actually this last trip, a big purpose of it was to go hand out scholarships to kids because they don't get, like, public education like we do here where it's covered by our taxes. So, Ron and as well as like Rocket Lay helped, but it's mostly like his thing with MMA Events Inc. They started out with 2 scholarships and ended up giving out like 10, which is awesome, and only hoping to grow from there. So really cool to see what they're doing for not only MMA out there but just the people of Belize. So really cool.
For people that don't know, it's a small Latin American country just below Mexico, probably 2 hours from Cancun if you're driving. It's a tiny little place, and they're the first MMA event in that country. And to bring Carla, Blake Troop, and a handful of other fighters, Albert
Morales
was there,
first Belizean male
right,
to fight in the UFC,
and a homie. We love you, Albert, and Ron. You guys are amazing. So what they're doing in that country, a very small country, doesn't have a lot of representation, and bringing the stars of MMA out there. I love that. It's just huge. And then to hand out scholarships, it's a big deal.
Yeah. No, super cool. And we got to see some of the beautiful country along the way. So I was surprised to see how much cool stuff there was to do there. They definitely showed us some really awesome stuff out there.
If you look at Carla's Instagram, there is a lion eating the backside of a water buffalo. And then a week later, she's in beautiful paradisical waters of Belize having a swim.
With sharks.
Yes, with sharks, yes. A shark amongst sharks. That's what that was. They didn't know who they were messing with. It's a fact. And they were lemon sharks. You said lemon sharks. I didn't know. I thought they were nurse sharks.
No, they are. Honestly, I have no idea. You know more than me.
No, I'm guessing.
You're the ocean guy.
I am. I'm shaped like a seal. If you see me naked, it's a fact. Yeah. You don't want to swim next to me. I'm lunch. Exactly. But yeah, it's just so cool to see that it doesn't stop in the cage, that you keep on giving outside of the cage and you're doing things for so many other people. So it's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm just so grateful to the sport and what it's done for me in my life. And not only as a professional, as someone who made this my career, but I think just what it did for me as a person and just training, even you, I'm sure just training, living this life and having this awesome camaraderie in the sport and something that kind of teaches you to walk with more confidence, especially for women too. So, that's a huge thing for me, helping to grow the sport for women. And I just was in Africa as well, speaking in Zimbabwe with Temba.
That's right. I saw you training. It looked like on a mountaintop with Temba hitting mitts.
Yeah.
Imagine me in the middle of Africa and it looked like an action figure with another action figure just throwing blows.
Yeah, no, Temba's awesome. He's another one, like Chito and Flo that's out in his country, one of the only ones, really trying to make it big and didn't necessarily have a lot. He had the craziest story, was working in the, the blood diamond industry,
that's all there is,
when he was a kid and, start sleeping on the streets and his parents died when he was a kid, just did everything to make it work and
and that's normal for him.
Yeah,
we're tripping whoa.
Yeah, he's doesn't complain. He's just no, I'm gonna make this happen. This is my dream. He's determined. He's Mamba mentality.
Wow.
He loves it. But no, it was really cool to see. But again, he didn't have necessarily the access to certain knowledge about nutrition or supplements or certain types of training. Although he does train hard and he owns a gym as well. But
it's very cool.
Yeah, so it's just cool to see that and to try and help things grow. And that was just kind of on my own time, just I'm here hey, I reached out to him and we kind of made some stuff happen, did some press out there and wanted to do a seminar, a free seminar for the people out there, but it's just with COVID, it made it a little bit hard.
I can only imagine, yeah. It's tough to do anything right now.
But yeah, I mean, if I can give back and grow the sport, whenever, wherever I can, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think that you've given a lot of positive press to the sport and attention to the sport, and that's what it's all about, is growing that side of it. We talked a little earlier about kind of the beginnings of gosh, back then it was called No Holds Barred. It was basically street fighting with a couple things that you couldn't do. You know, some of those early fights in the 90s, and then it became what we know to be MMA today. And then along the way, the athletes changed, or the fighters changed into athletes, not just brawlers.
Yeah.
You know, so and along with that comes a change of attitude and a level of respect, because we have basically super athletes right now. The name of the game right now are super athletes. It was one thing to have Tank Abbott from Huntington Beach, you know, slugging it out in a cage. Now you've got people that, you know, nothing short of Batman and Spider-Man moves. You know what I mean? It truly is a different thing. And I think that's why we all pay $65 on a Saturday night to watch this stuff.
No, it's so cool. And even in the sport of jiu-jitsu alone, like you see like how many creative things, like new styles and things that people are coming up with. You're like, what the heck is this? You know,
Totally.
It's crazy. It's like, you know, back then you just had brawlers who maybe like ate at McDonald's and like, you know, partied all night and just showed up.
Take them down and pound them.
Yeah, and they were tough and they looked mean, you know, but now it's like you have these college athletes and people who are like living, breathing, you know, eating this, like eating clean all day, sleeping, getting recovery, having these sponsors, having these crazy things, all this personal training, like all these, like at the PI, you have these things to measure like your VO2 max and your metabolism and this and that, like all this technology.
Beasley that are just creating these training mechanisms for you guys to get at the top of your game, you know?
Yeah.
Things beyond just going to a gym.
For sure.
You know, that's kind of incredible in itself. And it helps get the fighter to where they need to be to excel. So I'm always amazed at what I see. I'm blown away at your most recent performances, 5 in a row now. I mean, it's a testimony to hard work, dedication, and a pioneer of the sport, really, for the ladies. She was there building the house that everybody's fighting in.
Yeah, no, it's super cool, and hopefully, I'm looking at my next fight. Hopefully, title shot. You know, it's like
I don't want to make any crazy announcements, but yes, we're all.
Yeah, no, everyone's like, I think that's the next fight that makes sense for me and to everyone else. But you never know what's going to happen in this game because you know there's a lot of things involved. But you know, for me, that fight makes sense, and I hope for UFC and Dana White too.
I mean,
sense.
To me, to see her fight Rose is the only fight that we want to see right now.
Yeah, the fight. I think that's a fight like. I'm fangirling out on that fight. I'm like, what a cool storyline. You know, it's like 7 years later, like this rematch, like would be so cool.
Such a cool thing to see.
Especially in the last fight, your performance was amazing. And so, like, having that last performance, then leading up to the potential.
It's
awesome. Just because there's nothing better. You couldn't have done anything better. I mean, that performance was amazing.
It absolutely was. And again, at the top of your game, showing that at this time in your career that it can be done. Because, you know, you've been at it a long time now, you know, especially for the ladies.
Yeah, for sure. No, it has been a long time, and it feels really awesome to be able to be at my best after this long and just keep growing and evolving because this sport will leave you behind real quick.
Yeah.
You know, there's new, fresh kids coming up every day, like you said, people from, you know, 5 years old, like learning MMA now and, you know, just getting so good. There's these hybrids, you know, but.
You can see it in their movement. You know what I mean? They don't get up from the TV like I did and kind of lean over. They technical lift. You know what I mean? They're like, whoop, and they're ready. Like, you're coming at them. You're like, hey, dude, take it easy. I just said, let's go to the table.
Choking out their teddy bears.
Exactly. It's a whole different animal they're producing, but yeah, beautiful thing because as we know with martial arts brings discipline, respect, honor, and all those wonderful things. That's the great side of it. So I hope that that's what's coming forward and what we're going to see next, you know, and I know you represent that and bring that. So with that said, I know there's a whole other world of Carla that I'm going to get in the future, but I don't want to hold her up now because the future is calling. And thank you so much for being here, my dear.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Just such a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Yes. This is Gym Crashers. Catch us on Thursday nights, usually at 7 p.m. This is a special episode because we have Carla Esparza in the house. But tune in about 20 minutes. You'll get Joey the Bull, probably Adam. You get Sean. You'll get Obi Kano coming in as well, our friend Ephraim. So thank you. Thank you, Carla. Really appreciate this. You're
Thanks.
amazing. I gotta go.